Our speaker today, we have Ryan Bottimore with us, who is going to talk to us all about admissions. You might recognize Ryan if you've popped into some of our other workshops or if you were here last year. Ryan was a duck himself. He's from Oregon, so he's got a similar background to a lot of you, and I think has a lot of great answers to your questions. For today, when we talk about admissions, we're really talking about what that process is of looking for a school, finding a school, applying. We'll have some people later in the week who are going to talk more about financial aid and services that you can access once you're in school. But this is really what happens as you're deciding what school to go to and what kinds of things you might need to prepare during the application process. So I would love to welcome Ryan and have you share a little bit more. So please put questions in the chat if you have them, and we will try to get to them by the end of the presentation. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Megan, and thanks, Laura. As they have previously said, my name is Ryan Bottimore. I am an admissions counselor at the University of Oregon. And as kind of Megan alluded to, I am a former U of O student. So I am duck through and through. I bleed green and yellow. So I absolutely love the University of Oregon. And On the Rocks is an a cappella group on our campus that I actually got to see perform when I was a student. And I got to go and see this Civil War competition between our a cappella groups and our rivals to the north. So super fun competition that I got to see when I was a student. But like I said, I absolutely love this institution. I got 2 degrees, one in business administration and the other one in art and technology. So I pursued 2 degrees. So you are able to double major, things like that. And there's a lot of student support systems and resources to really get you prepared moving forward. But I can talk to you about the U of O for probably multiple hours, but I will spare you the time. I will definitely kind of make this time more about how to find the right college fit, how to make that decision of which institution's going to be the one that's going to serve your needs, and how to kind of cycle through that. So I'm going to start sharing my screen, and if somebody is able to let me know if you are able to see this, that would be perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. Awesome. Thanks, Laura. So like I said, I'm here to speak to you about how to find the right college fit. And there are many different factors that kind of go into the college search process. And that's what my job responsibility is, to help you through this college search process, speak with you about what factors are important to you in navigating college and what is going to be that best institution that's going to serve your academic needs, your financial needs, and your personality needs. So as we kind of go through this, I want to talk to you a little about different institutions that I would like to cover, which starting off with community college. So talking about the differences between a community college, a university, and how each of them offers different resources and different services that might fit your needs. So first off, I want to talk to you about a community college. So these are 2-year institutions that grant associate degrees and career-related certificates. Community colleges can also be similar to trade schools. So this is more of that hands-on, the trade industry of what you want to actually do moving forward. A positive thing that students do at a community college is that it's a little bit more inexpensive than going to a college and university. So you can actually start off going back to, Lane Community College, Portland Community College, there's Rogue Community College. So there are community colleges all across the state of Oregon. And what students can do is that their first 2 years, you're able to pursue an associate's degree at that community college. And once you are done, or you are ready to transfer over to a 4-year institution, you are able to do that. And at the U of O, I do want to let you know that a lot of the credits that you will earn at the associate's degree will transfer over with you. And so, like I said, it is a very seamless transition. And then your next 2 years at a 4-year institution, that's what that timeline looks forward to. And then you'll receive your bachelor's degree. So ultimately, community colleges served that needs of getting you that experience at a lower price, but still having that option to go to a four-year institution if you choose to do that. You are able to take classes here for personal enrichment or while enrolled at another school. For example, if you are a U of O student and you want to be dual enrolled with Lane Community College, or maybe even Rogue Community College, you have that possibility of being dual enrolled. So you have that option of taking classes both at the U of O and at LCC if that's something that you want to do. Community colleges usually do not have as many students on campus, so they're a lot smaller than four-year colleges or universities. So that means that there are less student organizations, less clubs, a little less opportunities, but it really is up to you on whether or not the community college is going to fit your needs as a student. And one of the biggest benefits, like I mentioned earlier, is that community colleges really serve that financial aspect, and it really is a lot more inexpensive than going to a four-year institution. The next one that I would like to talk to you about is college. So there is the difference between colleges and universities. They are four-year institutions, but ultimately the structure and the services that are offered really make them a little bit different. So oftentimes schools with college in their name are smaller institutions that really emphasize the undergraduate education. So just to give you an example, so university, which I will talk to you about later. So University of Oregon, we offer both undergraduate and graduate opportunities. Usually colleges that have one in their name, for example, Lewis and Clark College, or whatever name that comes to your mind about a different school, usually it's more focused in that undergraduate experience. Some colleges, known as arts colleges, can give students an education in a broad range of academic areas, as opposed to having them specialize early in one particular subject. You are able to earn a bachelor's degree. So like I said, colleges and universities are very similar in that aspect of you get that four-year degree. Ultimately, it's the structure of the school that's really going to fit that need. And then there are often colleges within universities. So for example, at the University of Oregon, we do have the Clark Honors College, which focuses in on an undergraduate honors program. You can major in absolutely anything, but it's a small liberal arts honors program within the U of O. And when you graduate from the Robert D. Clark Honors College at the University of Oregon. Similarly, but different in that structure, is the university. So an institution that offers both undergraduate and graduate degrees is considered a university. So for example, University of Oregon, that's the school that I represent, the school that I went to. This is an opportunity for students to pursue both an undergrad and a graduate program. So for example, if you are thinking about becoming a teacher, or if you are thinking about becoming a law practitioner, you can go to the School of Law, which is where you get your Juris Doctorate. Or maybe you wanted to go through the College of Education to be a teacher, and you wanted to go through the UO Teach Master's program, or you wanted to work in higher ed and go through our Educational Doctorate program. So universities usually foster environments where you can get an undergraduate degree, which is a bachelor's degree, and then you can move on to your next kind of schooling, your next step in the education process of getting your master's or even your doctorate. And so, like I said, they offer undergraduate programs, but both master's and doctorate. They can also have medical or law school for those pursuing professional degrees in those fields. And what's really nice is oftentimes universities and universities have transitions into your undergrad to your graduate program. So you potentially could have that seamless transition where you don't even need to maybe apply to a graduate program once you receive your bachelor's. It could have that smooth transition. One of the things that I mentioned is I actually got an undergraduate degree in business administration. And during my undergrad experience, I actually spoke to a professor where they were implementing a financial master's degree program. And they said that students have the opportunity to go straight into that master's program if they choose to do that. Granted, I don't know if that's how it is just because that was initially the implementation implementation and the start of that program when it first, was founded here. But it's an opportunity that students can further their education within that university system. And universities will offer more of a diverse curriculum and programs, and they usually have a larger number of enrolled students. And they usually have support systems to really focus in the diverse learners that are at the university and really foster that learning environment within the university. So those are the three main colleges, universities, and community colleges that you might be cycling through as you look for college. And ultimately, each one of them has the different opportunity to serve your needs. And really, as you kind of go through this college search process and finding your right fit, make sure you understand the difference between the three and making sure that you know what is available for you within those particular institutions. Within community colleges, within universities, I have mentioned this previously, there's associate's degrees, there's vocational degrees, there's bachelor's degrees, there are master degrees, degree programs. So I want to kind of make sure that you know the difference between the two and what benefits and which career offerings you are able to do with these particular degrees. So when you are going through a community college or a trade school, usually you get a vocational degree or an associate's degree. And these are the two that are showing right here on the slide. So looking directly and strictly only at the vocational degree, you're looking at a time commitment of 2 years or less. Total cost approximation of the 2 years is roughly going to be around $33,000, and that's the sticker price. Ultimately, that's not going to be what you're paying out of pocket because there is financial aid. And as Megan said, later in the week, you will be hearing from financial aid representatives to really walk you through what the different offerings are to reduce the total cost price. But once you get your vocational degree, the average salary right out of it is going to be around $35,000. Some careers that you might be interested in that you're saying, yes, I want to be an electrician, I want to be a dental hygienist, I want to be a cosmetologist. These are trade careers that you would need a vocational degree, that certification, in order to pursue that moving forward. So for example, one of our Oregon public universities in the state of Oregon is the Oregon Institute of Technology. And this is just one example that we have in this state that you may be able to attend. And this is what they do, is they offer vocational degrees. And the benefit looking at a vocational degree is designed to give students the technical skills to prepare them for a specific occupation. So like I said, looking up above, electrician, dental hygienist, cosmetologist, you don't really need the other educational foundation of arts and letters, the natural sciences, the social sciences. And so the vocational degree specifically focuses in your career that you're interested in. Switching to associate's degree, also looking at a time commitment of roughly around 2 years. Total cost approximation is roughly going to be around $15,000 for those 2 years. Average salary is going to be around $30,000 once you get out of, once you earn your associate's degree from that community college. Some careers that you might be interested in: business assistant, paramedic, registered nurse, etc. And I already mentioned a few examples. So there's Rogue Community College, Wayne Community College, there's Central Oregon Community College. So there's community college all around that really give you the necessary instruction on for your career and giving you that diploma or certificate for a specific practice or field. And then you do have the opportunity to transfer over to a four-year institution if that's the right fit for you. Switching into what degree should I pursue of a higher education from a college or university. So when you graduate from either a college or university, you will be receiving a bachelor's degree. You are looking on average 4 years. Ultimately, this is dependent on many different factors, and 4 years is the average timeline and the traditional timeline for students, but there's no correct path for a student. If you are taking a lot of AP or IB classes, or if you are dual enrolled with your high school and a local community college, or even if you are in Linn County and you do the Duck Link program through the U of O, you are earning college credit during your high school career. And when you actually apply to the university, those credits will come with you, and you could reduce that time from 4 years to maybe 3 years or 2 years. And I do want to give you a personal experience of mine. My sister actually went to the U of O as well, and she actually graduated in 2.5 years, because during her junior and senior year in high school, she took AP classes. She was also dual enrolled, and she also took college courses at our local institution, and she ended up graduated in 2.5 years. So if you really want to focus more in on what your high school offers and seeing if that's the right fit, your time commitment for a bachelor's degree would definitely reduce that 4 years to maybe 2 years or 3 years. Your total cost approximation of $50,000 for in-state, and that's over the 4 years. Sticker price, like I said, again, the University of Oregon has many different merit and need-based scholarships and aid that really helps reduce that overall sticker price. One of the things that I want to mention is Pathway Oregon right now, just because I received that. Pathway Oregon is a tremendous opportunity for students within just the University of Oregon, where if you graduate from an Oregon high school, you have a minimum of a 3.4 GPA, and you are Pell eligible, and that's based off of your free application for federal student aid or FAFSA, you will be able to receive Pathway Oregon, and that pays for your tuition and fees for 4 years. So you are looking at that $50,000, and that completely is paid for by Pathway Oregon as long as you stay eligible, or as long as you stay eligible. So you're looking at $50,000, but obviously that's not going to be what you're paying out of pocket because of the aid and opportunities that we have. Average salary moving forward is roughly going to be around $52,000. Careers include accountant, chemist, engineer, journalist, etc. And some of the things that the universities and colleges offer that maybe some other institutions don't are career advising and academic advising to make sure that you are getting career ready moving forward. So for example, at the U of O, we have Tyson Hall, and Tyson Hall is a cross collaboration between academic advising and career advising. So this is where students have the opportunity to take the necessary classes to get you career ready and get you where you need to go. One of my friends actually worked at KPMG, which is one of the big four firms up in Portland. It's an accounting firm. So he actually served and then switched over to the private industry, and his salary boosted way up. But it was that experience being at a big four public accounting firm that really gave him that experience. And obviously the academic program here helps him get where he wanted to be. Example, University of Oregon, said it multiple times. I will continue to say it multiple times, but just wanted to share that that's just one example. A benefit, education offered by a college or university, a requirement for many professional occupations. We are kind of in a society where we are looking for more of individuals who receive the professional bachelor's degree. So that's one of the biggest benefits, is it really opens your doors to a lot of different professions across many different industries. And that's what bachelor's degree can offer it. It's not the best fit for everyone, and we totally understand that. I totally understand that. And that's why I'm here, is to help you kind of navigate this. Last one I want to talk to you about, master's degree and a doctorate degree. These are usually held at universities and college, or universities, not colleges, as colleges are more undergraduate focused. But master's and doctorate degrees are things, if you wanted to be a lawyer, a doctor, a teacher, you have to get another degree post bachelor's in order to get that certification, get that degree focus where you're able to practice what you want to do in your career. So total cost varies depending on if you go in-state or out-of-state. Average salary is going to be around $78,000. Careers, lawyer, doctor, teacher, therapists, things of that sort where you need that, that extra certification. Examples, Oregon Health and Science University or the University of Oregon Law School, and then benefit advanced education with a specialization in a specific area of study. So those are the 4 different degree offerings within the different institutions. So I just wanted to make sure that you know what the difference are, what the benefits are, and how they each can serve your needs moving forward. So what are the requirements? I am only knowledgeable about the University of Oregon requirements. So that is something that I encourage you to do as you look for different institutions, is to connect with one another, connect with different admissions counselors, different colleagues all across the institution that you are looking at, to make sure how are you going to be able to get to where you're going at a college level. So for a University of Oregon application, you can apply through 3 different ways. You can apply through the Common App, the Coalition, or the Oregon application. We do not have a preference. It is just whatever's easiest for you. What we consider, we are a holistic review process, meaning that we don't look just at your academics. We look at you as an academic, but we also look at what are you doing outside the classroom, who you are as a community member, who you are as a family member, and who you are as an individual. So academic-wise, we do look at your GPA. We are a test optional institution where SAT and ACT scores are no longer required. It is up to you if you choose to come to the U of O. If you wanted to come in test optional, you submit it. If you don't, I won't even think twice. But in your academics and in your GPA, I look at your grade trend. Are you meeting the baseline academic 15 plus college preparatory courses in English and math and sciences and social sciences? Did you get that education foundation within your high school? And ultimately, I look at your course rigor. So AP, IB, honors courses, dual enrollment courses. I want to see students challenging themselves, but I am aware that not every high school has these offerings, and that is also taken into my consideration as well. Activities, work, and volunteering. This is, like I said, what do you do outside the classroom? There's 10 opportunities to really elaborate on the different activities that you are a part of. Do you work? Do you volunteer? Do you play a sport? Do you have family responsibilities? Do you draw? Do you paint? Do you play a sport? What takes up your time? The list is so broad that really hone in on the ones that are extremely important to you and elaborate on the skills that you learned, because I want to see that you reflect on these experiences. And then lastly, personal statement, 650 word required essay. It's open-ended. You can write about absolutely anything, but make sure the central subject is you and you only, and really have your friends, your family members, your colleagues, anybody who you are interacting with. I really want you to have them read your essay, because the more perspectives you get on it, the better the essay will be. Freshman application deadlines. So whether you are a rising senior, rising junior, rising sophomore, or rising freshman, I do want to say that these are deadlines that will not change. Hence, I do not give you the year. November 1st is our early action deadline. And I know that I'm throwing a lot of information out, and so I'll hopefully be able to answer questions at the end, but I'm almost done wrapping up kind of the admissions process and kind of giving you that overall picture of what's going to be the right fit and how you get there. November 1st is our early action deadline. Early action and early decision are 2 separate things that I want you to be familiar with. Early action is a non-binding contract. Early decision is a binding contract. So for example, the University of Oregon has the early action deadline. If you apply by November 1st, you're guaranteed a decision by December 15th, which is kind of a right around the holiday time. And if you want to tell your friends and family that you were accepted to the U of O during the holiday season, you definitely have that. But early decision, which is the U of O does not have, but other institutions do. Early decision means that when you apply, you are signing a contract that if you are accepted, you have to go to that institution. So make sure you know the difference between early action, which is the non-binding contract, and early decision, the binding one where you have to go to that institution if you are accepted. If you want to kind of just completely skip the early action portion and you are afraid that you might not know the difference, Just apply by January 15th. That's going to be the latest day you can apply. Submit all documentation by February 15th, and you are guaranteed a decision by April 1st. And that gives you roughly a month before National Decision Day, which is May 1st. And I do want to kind of cover some tips for applying to higher education. So when you are looking specifically at what should I do in high school to help prepare for applying to college. First off, challenge yourself in high school by taking AP IB's honors courses. This is for you to really advance your skills, advance your education from a high school perspective, and that really showcases us to a college and an institution that you are preparing to go into a college level course. Get involved inside and outside the classroom. I can't stress this enough. There are many skills that you learn, whether you are consciously learning that or unconsciously learning that you learn within each and every activity. And this is professional development. This is personal development. And I cannot stress this enough. Get involved inside and outside the classroom. It's an important piece in coming from an admissions perspective. Explore your options by taking official campus tours. This is something that I got to do when I was an undergrad. I got to lead campus tours, and it is something that is truly remarkable. And you kind of get this gut feeling of whether or not this institution is going to be that right fit. And do your research. Another thing that I cannot stress enough, you are doing the SAIL program, you are taking the necessary steps and really learning about what college can do for you and how you can obtain the qualifications in order to get to the career that you're looking for. By doing your research, you are making sure that you are making that right choice. So looking at what advice can you give me when filling out my college application? When you are filling out applications, I would create a college-specific email. So when you do apply or when you want to get on listservs for colleges, having it all in one central location and not being spammed with other Nike ads or Adidas ads or Columbia Sportswear ads, having one central specific email for your college search is absolutely essential, and I would recommend checking it regularly. Submit all requested documentation. So connecting with admissions counselors, speaking with different representatives to make sure that you are sending all of the information that we are requesting. Submit FAFSA and apply for scholarships, which you will learn a little bit later this week. And then know your deadlines, proofread your application, and be honest. I want to know more about who you are. I want you to let yourself shine, but be honest. That is something that is really valuable when we're looking at somebody, is that they're reflecting on their past experiences, how they're moving forward, and what they've learned. With that, I know a lot of information that was thrown at you, but I know that we have roughly around 15 minutes for Q&A, and I definitely want to make sure that I get to all of your questions. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and see all of your lovely faces.
Thank you, Ryan. We've had a lot of questions in the chat, and our staff have been really good about passing on some more information. A question here in the chat, I'll try to alternate. You talked a little bit about what to include in personal statement. Anything people should stay away from or avoid?
This is a interesting topic because, like I said, it is very open-ended and you can write about absolutely anything. Some experiences that I have when I review applications is, first and foremost, do not use any writing samples that you've used at a high school course, because most of those are going to be about a different subject other than yourself. Granted, it could be the best piece of writing that you have ever written in your entire life, and you are extremely proud of that. That showcases me your writing skills. It doesn't tell me anything else about you. So make sure you focus more on the central subject, which is you. Some of the things that I recommend students highlighting is, what are you interested in education wise, and how is the U of O or that institution you are applying to gonna fit your career aspirations and your career goals. I absolutely love reading experiences of students who had a family member be diagnosed with some sort of medical condition that they end up wanting to pursue a medical field because that is something that hit home with them, and that's why they're pursuing that, to do more research and maybe do more studies and maybe making a cure or something like that. So really, if there is an instance where something really transformed your thinking or transformed your mind or your thought process on a certain subject and how you reflected on that, I think that's one of the best essays that you could possibly write. I wouldn't say that there's anything that I would not write about. I think you all are very knowledgeable in what you want to share and what you're willing to share. Don't share anything that you don't want to share, if that makes sense. So ultimately, you are the best judgment of what you want to share. Be honest, be transparent, be open, and really let yourself shine through the personal statement. On a lot of students' minds, and I want to reassure you that if you do not have a diverse resume in regards to your extracurricular work, volunteer activities, and it's because of COVID, we understand that not everybody has the capability of doing that because it was not safe to do that. So that is already ingrained in my review process. With that being said, there are some hobbies that you may enjoy doing that was safe for you to do so. So whether that was art, whether that was hiking, whether that was doing something that you were able to do that was safe and that you had the capacity to do, I would mention those just because I just want to know more about who you are. And if you are a person, and this is coming from me, my personal thing is I enjoy being in nature because it really helps me ease my anxiety. It really helps me calm me down. I love that. And I really want to make sure that I'm highlighting that. And I want to reflect on this is important to me because not only do I like this physical activity, but it helps me not only in physical health, but mental health and things like that. So if you don't have the diverse, talk about anything you're passionate about and what you've done that what you were able to do so that was safe. There is a difference between in-state and out-of-state tuition. So if you are not an Oregon resident, you would pay out-of-state tuition. And the out-of-state tuition is more expensive than in-state tuition, which the financial aid individuals who you would work with later this week will probably cover the different levels of financial aid and scholarships and what that cost of attendance is going to be. But yes, the tuition for out of state, so if you are coming from California or Washington or a different state, that tuition is going to be more expensive than if you were coming from Oregon. And hopefully I understood the question and that answers it.
Ryan, maybe in there you could talk about the Western Undergraduate Exchange Program.
Yeah, and you might have heard, Western Undergraduate Exchange Program, or it's otherwise called as WUI. We used to be a WUI school. We are no longer a WUI institution. So unfortunately, that is not a part of our operations in regards to financial aid and scholarships or cost of attendance. I know that other institutions are, just the University of Oregon is not a WUI school. I see a question, WUI, what does that mean? WUI is the Western Undergraduate Exchange Program, meaning that the institutions within that program, if you attend an institution within the Western Undergraduate Exchange Program that's a part of WUI, you can pay in-state tuition, even if you are out of state. We do not do that we used to be a part of that, but we are no longer a part of the WUI program. Definitely do not pull a Ryan. I actually did 2 degrees and I was in school for 6 years, and it's only because I picked up that second major at the end of the 4th year. And so do not pull a Ryan. Make sure you know exactly what you are interested in, music and biology. And when you come in as those majors, you will be assigned academic advisors, and those academic advisors within those particular departments will work with you on making sure you're taking the necessary courses in graduating. So they will work with you in creating a sample schedule of what your 4-year timeline is going to be if you are able to do it in that timeline. I do want to say that there are 4-year music programs that are pretty intensive that it may push you back into 5 years. So I don't want you to scare you. I just wanted to give you that the music programs, the 4-year ones, are very time intensive, that it may push you back just another year to complete those biology courses.
Super quick one. Is that the Millennium Falcon behind you, Ryan?
Yes, it is. If you know anything about me, I am a diehard Star Wars fan, and I love Star Wars. And I mean, I'm a huge Disney fan, and during my time, I got to work at Disney through the Disney College program. And so love Marvel, love Disney, love Star Wars, anything that deals with that, absolutely love. So good catch, whoever you are who caught the Millennium Falcon. There are two things in regards to financial aid and scholarships. We have merit and need-based. Need-based, which is based off of your household income, that is based off of FAFSA, so your free application for federal student aid. This is for any grants, loans, and any other aid that you will receive potentially from the federal government. Merit-based aid is the ones that we offer that are based off of your academic performance. So for example, we have the Summit and Apex, and that's based off of your weighted GPA. If you meet that weighted GPA, you will receive a certain scholarship. So those are the two differences, and I know that somebody will talk to you a little bit more about that, but FAFSA, yes, that's about need-based, and so grants, loans, and other kind of types of aid from the federal government. And then there's also ORSA, that's the Oregon State specific one. So if you don't qualify for FAFSA, but you do the Oregon State one, they'll talk more about that as well.